Hey, what it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Guess what, man? We live. If you ain't know, we live. Hit that like button, man. Let me know what y'all think about this crazy situation in the comment section. All right, we got a nice video today, man. Shout out to my everyday people who've been rocking with me every day. Make sure y'all shout out the mods in the chat, man, because the mods be keeping it lit. They know how to do that damn thing. Okay. All right. And we got a good video for y'all today. I have no idea. I just know this is about somebody's ex. What up, Brian? Shout out to Brian, the Ghost Drifter, G man. He and Margot, they stay lit in the chat. Shout out to Frost Glitter Bomb. Shout out to everybody coming through in the chat, man. We finna keep it lit. Um, like I said, I got another nice lit video for y'all today. Blessed evening. Blessed evening. Thank y'all for pulling up. I love you too. Hand hearts. Hand hearts looking ass. Shout out to the Bay Area. Okay. What up, though? Detroit. I said I'm gonna steal y'all stealing. Everybody, steal y'all saying. Uh, Detroit say, what up, though? I'm gonna stop saying what it do. I'm gonna say, what up, though? It's your boy PJ. That sound better. What up, though? It's your boy PJ. I'm stealing y'all shit. Shout out to Detroit, man. Detroit, keep it lit. I got a nice hair video for Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Mary's African hair braiding. Uh, they be whipping some. They be them Africans be whipping some hair. Anyway, let me get to the video while I'm over here talking, man. Get y'all all.
See, I'm in Arizona.
Story time. So remember when I told y'all Risa Tisa ain't got nothing on who I married? So I said one day I was going to tell these stories. So I'm only going to tell them based on the one y'all pick, okay? So do you want to know about the time that I found out about his baby while at his mom's funeral and I was pregnant as well, which was also the first time I ever saw his mama in person, was in her casket? Do you want to hear about the time I found out he had been cheating on me with a 19-year-old? I was 25 and he was 28 at the time. That worked at McDonald's. That was able to tell me everything in my house. So I went and picked her up and took her with me to his job. So he could not deny her if she was in his face. Or you want to know about the time that I arrived home after being gone for a couple of days thinking the house had been burglarized. And I come to find out it was actually him that was upset that I was leaving him, staged a burglary in the house and stole the TVs off the wall and pawned them.
Boy, she got some story times. I don't know if we got that much time.
Story time. So remember when I told y'all recently? Dun dun dun. Y'all have spoken. Story time. Let me tell you about the time that I was 4.5 months pregnant at my husband's mom's funeral when I was introduced to his 6-month-old daughter that I had no idea about. So boom. So by the time his mom passed away, we have been married for about 5 months. I was 4.5 months pregnant. I got pregnant like right after we got married. But we have been together probably for about a year and a half, 2 years or so, at this time. So he comes to me, his mom passed away. She had been sick, for a while, from what he was telling me and what I was overhearing, basically from their phone conversations, because he also never let me meet her in person. So yeah, her casket was the first time I ever saw her face physically in person. Because he kept me separate from down there from his life. He lived like an hour and 20 minutes away from me when I met him. And then he moved up here to this side of town with me. But his family was still an hour and 20 minutes away. I was kept totally separate from them. Anyway, so when his mom passed away, oh y'all, Ooh, wait, that's terrible. Don't judge me. I've been cooking and eating. Listen. So, I say, okay, well, when the funeral, you know, I'm sorry, you know, to hear whatever. Um, and he tell me when the funeral, I can't. Yeah, hold on. Whatever. So he tells me, when the funeral is or whatever, and then he
Better go
starts
floss looking ass.
saying stuff like, well, don't you got something to do that day? Or, you know, saying stuff like, do I even have anything to wear? And I immediately knew, you trying to keep me from going to this funeral, but you're not keeping me from down there this time. He has kept me from down there several times for different things. It was always an excuse why I couldn't go, but this time I'm like, we married, your mom passed away. There's no way I'm not going to that funeral. You can forget it. So fast forward, the day come, we going to the funeral. He acting a little nervous all day. I'm like, what I'm finna get down here and find out, because you never let me come here, so this is the first time. So we get there, we walk in the funeral, everything nice, we waving, you know, speaking to people. We sit down like 2 rows behind his siblings and his stepfather. He was the oldest of 6. And all of his other 5 siblings are all by his stepdad. He's the only one that wasn't. So, we sitting there, you know, 2 rows behind them, and his siblings and his stepfather is passing this baby back and forth between them, back and forth. At first, I looked like, whoop, baby that they passing back and forth, and then really, you know, never mind over there and pay no attention to it. So then I'm, you know, finally I start looking at, you know, reading over the obituary. We get to the part of the obituary where it say, you know, that his mom leaves behind, you know, her husband, her, you know, children, all that stuff. And then it says she leaves behind 3 grandchildren. At this point in time, again, I repeat, he the oldest of 6. He the only one that have kids at this time. His brothers and sisters do not have any children right now at this time. So, mine, this was 15 years ago. So I'm like, who this third name in this obituary? Who this other child? Because don't nobody have kids but you. I know recognize the first 2 names, because those were the 2 daughters he already had when we met, that I found out about a year later, because a sheriff showed up at my door asking why he wasn't. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story for another day too, because I found that out when the sheriff showed up at my door a year after we had already been together, that he had children, after being made to believe he had absolutely none. Anyway, so I see the 2 names I recognize, and then I'm like, well, who that third name? Ain't nobody who, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Immediately my woman instinct kicked in. That's his baby, and that's her they passing back and forth. I know it, because he done did some, you know, things to me in the past. You know, a lot has happened in that relationship. Oh my God, it was a goddamn Lifetime movie. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So he never acknowledges this baby. Never nothing, right? So the funeral is over. We walking out the funeral. We speaking again. He introducing me. This is my wife. Blah blah blah. Whatever, to the people. They see, you can see I'm pregnant. I'm 4.5 months pregnant. You can see my belly. So we walk out. We get to the car. And I get in the car. He get in the car right after me. Maybe 30 seconds later. He get in the car and he say, babe, I got something to tell you. Stay tuned for part 2. I got something to do. I'll be back. Bored in the house, and I'm in the house bored, and I'm still up. So, part 2. So here he come getting in the car, right? Mind you, let me rewind a little bit. Mind you, this baby's name is in the obituary as her grandchild. I'm his wife. We married. I didn't even make the obituary. Okay? So anyway, so he gets in the car.
You really ain't the wife then.
I got something to tell you. I'm like, what you got to tell me? What is it? My cousin just told me that baby that they in there passing around is supposed to be mine. And that's who name you saw in the obituary. I'm like, what do you mean your cousin just told you that that's supposed to be your baby? How the hell is somebody telling you what's supposed to be your baby? You don't know if that's your baby or not. You trying to act, this your first time ever hearing this? So this is supposed to be his child. Apparently she's 6 months old. And he proceeds to tell me that it was during a time. He only had sex with the girl one time. And it was during a time that we had broken up. It was before we got married. So he proceeds, he's reminding me of this time. I'm thinking, I'm going back doing the math. If she's 6, he tells me, when she was born, now that she's 6 months old by my calculations or whatever. So I'm thinking back to the time that we did separate around this, time where she would have, possibly got pregnant. But I also remembered at that time when we separated, we was only separated for 2 days. You left for 2 days. You made a baby in 48 hours. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Mind you, and then I start asking, and then I'm like,
it could happen.
Like I said, we left together. We got in a car together. When did you have this conversation with your cousin that just told you all this information all of a sudden? That never happened. You walked with me the whole time. You walked me to the car. You maybe got in the car 30 seconds after me. Ain't nobody told you all that fast. But anyway. So we drive. We get back. It's like an hour and 20-minute drive, like I said. So we get back. We make it to the house. By the time we get in the house, guess who has a Facebook inbox message from a female I've never seen before in my life? But then I think like she looked kind of familiar. And I opened the message. It's the little girl's mother. She found me on Facebook because she said she could tell by the way he acted at the funeral, did not acknowledge her, did not acknowledge her daughter, that I clearly did not know about her daughter. And as I'm reading the message, she's telling me, she's telling me her name, of course, and that she's 6 months old. And she gave me her phone number and said for me to call her so we could talk. So I called her. Of course I did. And she proceeds to tell me one thing she did confirm was his story, that they only had sex one time. Which, okay, fine, but still, I didn't know anything about anything. And that she didn't know that he was married. So I definitely had to let her know that, no, baby, when y'all did what y'all did, we were not married. And we were actually, look at my lash falling off. I'm too wrong for being who gives a damn? Sorry, Ma, if you're watching this, because I don't curse around my mama.
Damn lashes.
Anyway, so I'm like, so, she's telling me the story, about what happened, how they ended up having sex the one time or whatever, and how she didn't know he was married, which I had to correct her. He was not, because she just seemed all too happy to keep saying, my husband, baby. And I just had to let her know, yes, he's my husband now, but he was not my husband at the time. Pump your brakes. So we have a whole conversation. Then she, during this conversation, so anyway, so she lets me know that, not only did he know about the baby, when she got pregnant, that he knew about the baby the whole time, and that he actually came to the hospital when the baby was born. After the baby was born, it was known by his mother and siblings, that he had a baby with this young lady, because and the baby had been over there. The mom had kept her, the siblings had kept her, and that's how she made the obituary, and I did not, although they definitely knew he was married. But anyway, so, and she tells me, that he's given her money before and all this stuff, and so she didn't understand, why all of a sudden, lately she hadn't been hearing from him, and then the way he acted at the funeral, she put two and two together. He's married, and she must not know about my baby. So she got my name from one of his family members apparently, and found me on Facebook and sent me this message. So we talking or whatever, and I'm telling her like, okay, she asking for a DNA test, and he hadn't given her address, so she could get a DNA test or send child support or whatever for a DNA test. So I'm like, okay, you definitely need to get a DNA test, blah blah blah. So and then she also tells me, yeah, and it was this one time he was actually supposed to keep her. I was supposed to be bringing her to, I guess it's y'all house. But when I was getting ready to bring her, he stopped answering the phone. I said, well, clearly, there's no way you were going to be able to bring your baby to my house, because there would be no way he could have explained to his wife why this girl and this baby is at the door looking for him. So that's why you didn't hear from him. I didn't know nothing about y'all. So anyway, so then we get off the phone or whatever. I go and I talk to him, tell him I just got off the phone with her in the conversation that we had. Of course, he gets mad because anytime he's ever caught doing anything and I actually talk to the person, he gets furious. You know how they do. Flip it on you, act like it was you, you did it. And the problem is not what they did. It's the way you responded to it and the fact that you actually fact-checking and talking to people. But anyway, so after that, him and her end up talking. They get into an argument or whatever. He tell her, find me, whatever, for the DNA test, whatever. Next thing I know, y'all, a week later, Maury is calling me. She done gave Maury
Not
his
Maury.
phone number because she wants to bring us on the show to do a DNA test.
Oh, she messy.
So, they call him and he like, absolutely not. I'm not going on no Maury. You know what I'm saying? Maturing is knowing the reason why he didn't want to go on Maury. It probably was more women that was going to come out saying they had his babies. But anyway, so so then after they call him, they called me. And the proposition they gave me with $500 and a free ride, the limo was going to pick us up. We was going to take a flight. This was, like before I was working in entertainment. I was a 911 dispatcher at this time. No, actually, I wasn't a dispatcher anymore. I was working at a domestic violence shelter for women and children. But anyway, so Maury calling and the person on the phone is like, yeah, so we'll give y'all $500. We'll even raise it up to give y'all $500 each instead of just $250. And dinner will be on us, and you'll be in Connecticut for 2 nights, and all this stuff. To me at the time, I was 25, I was young.
Hey, side note. I've been to Maury. I stood through like 5 episodes at Maury in Stamford, Connecticut. Excellent show. Excellent.
To me, it sounded like a good time, and to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, because I didn't mind going out of town and everything on them and coming back with some money. We need it. Like we ain't need it. Hell, I need it now. And we also definitely needed a DNA test. So I'm like, well, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's. So I go to him and I'm like, well, they called me. Maury called me. Oh, baby, he went off. You ready to sell out? You gonna sell out for $500? You gonna go tell all our business on TV for $500? I ain't gonna. You go on there. You do the DNA test with her. Let him take your fucking DNA. You go do the test with her.
Story time about Maury when I get off of this.
So, of course, he was trying to be funny. But yeah, so clearly we never went on Maury. He didn't do the DNA test at that time. It just almost kind of went away until she called me one day and me and her got into like a full-blown argument. I told her to go find her baby daddy, whatever, and there was nothing I could do about the fact, why are you so angry at me that he is not involved in the child's life and has not taken a DNA test yet? I definitely told him he is going to have to get a DNA test in order for us to continue, because I'm not with nobody not taking care of their kids. I don't play that. So anyway, fast forward, me and him, I ended up leaving him. Actually, a few months later, I left and filed for divorce. I filed for divorce after being married for 9 months. And maybe about 2 years after that, this lady calls me again. Bored and what y'all doing? Took a quick nap and I'm back. Part 3. So, as I stated, I ended up filing for divorce a few months later. Actually ended up leaving him because a few months later was the incident where I found out he was cheating on me with the 19-year-old. She had been all in my house. That's a whole nother story for another day. Still, like I said, I got her address. I made her give me her address and let me come and pick her up and take her with me to his job because I was just tired of all the shit. You can't keep denying. Ain't no more denying. I'm taking the bitch with me this time. I dare you to tell me you don't know this bitch while she in your face. Anyway, another story for another day. Anyway, so like I said, filed for divorce a few months later. Filed for divorce after 9 months. Probably about a year and a half, 2 years later, I get an unsolicited message from a number I don't recognize. Well, first it was a phone call, a missed call from this number. And I'm like, what number is this? I don't know this number. So, sorry. Before I could call the number back, I got a text. The text message was a picture of a DNA test. So finally, 2 years later, she was able to catch up with my now ex-husband to get a DNA test. And apparently all of this time, she has held on to my number because she cannot wait for the moment. Okay? So when I see the picture of just a DNA test, I'm like, what is this? And then I see the names. And I immediately just bust out laughing hysterically. And I reply to her and I say, okay, with a question mark. And she replied in the text and say, remember when you told me to go find my baby daddy? I just wanted to let you know I found him. Yes, and it was my ex-husband, baby. But let me tell you, I already knew. Because the second, when I saw that name in that obituary, and I looked up and paid attention to that baby that's passing around, what I didn't, I say, baby, it's like I was looking at my husband's whole face. That baby looked just like him. Okay? But anyway, so I replied, I'm like, girl, you held on to my number all this time. You could not wait to come and tell me that he was your baby daddy too. Whole time, you should have been praying for the opposite. Because at this time, by the time that confirmation came, I think she made baby number 6 or 7. That had pretty much been confirmed by this time. Mind you, again, when I met him, he had 2. Although he told me he had 0. By the time I was done, there was like confirmed 6 or 7.
He was hitting everything but her. Everybody but her.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm like, girl, congratulations. Get in line with the rest of us, baby. Y'all just made child number 7 and baby mama number 6. Like, congratulations. Like, what the fuck? You want a prize for that? So anyway, yep. That's what happened. And our daughters tried to have like a relationship for a minute when they were younger. I'm not opposed to her having a relationship with her sister or nothing like that, but it's just, I guess with the history and stuff that's happened, it just has not went that way. Maybe in the future, but hey, but yeah, so that's pretty much what happened with that story. And again, I repeat, we are no longer together, but I will put in this disclaimer. Sometimes two things can be true at once. Somebody could be a terrible partner, but an incredible parent. And that's honestly that's what I end up getting. So it's like, I can't say that now. Like I said, this is old. Is a very changed man. Honestly, at this point, I could say. But I definitely have more stories to tell. He's definitely mad at me right now. So if you seeing this, you don't be mad at my truth. Okay? Let's just be happy that I can laugh about all of this shit now. And that your ass wasn't no snapped.
Because it wasn't funny then. Oh, she said he was going to be on Snapped. So she was about to kill this. She's about to take him out. Let's see what this last one.
So what's next, y'all? Miss McDonald's 19, the fake ass burglary, or there was also a girl who cleared out her entire 401k thinking she was paying for his lawyers when he actually was never locked up. It was.
All right, we ain't gonna get into all them stories. Okay, so anyway, thank you for everyday people for joining. All right, so I want to tell y'all, this is my story time about how I went to Maury and I witnessed a man who got another girl pregnant, which ended up was her best friend, and he ended up with a black eye at the end of the night. Okay, this is my story time, and this is true. Cause I had to look up the hotel. The hotel is called Stanford Inn and Suites. Okay, Stanford Suites Hotel. Okay, right. So my first time up in Connecticut, right? Cause I worked out there. This was my first time going out there. So I was like, well, shit, I'm going to be out there for a month, so I might as well find one that got a kitchen, because the hotel they tried to set me in didn't have no kitchen. And I was like, man, I need a refrigerator. I need all that. Y'all trying to put me in some bougie stuff where I have to eat out every day. I don't want to eat out every day. So I was like, I picked Stanford Suites. I was like, it's a suite. Plus, they picked me up from New York LaGuardia Airport. So I was like, they going to pick me up from the airport? Great. All right. So, boom. It was all good. I get there. Everybody's nice. I'm like, hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They treat me like, I wonder who baby daddy this is. That's how they was treating me. Like I was somebody's baby daddy. I was like, but I didn't know what was going on. I just was just in the mix, whatever. So I'm coming around, I'm smoking cigarettes. This is why I was a cigarette smoker. I'm like going outside, and then the girl came out. Oh, you stressing? You worried about your test tomorrow? I said, my test, girl, I ain't here for no test. I don't know what you talk about, but nah, I'm cool. And she was like, oh, yeah, I get to find out who my baby daddy is tomorrow and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you here for a DNA test? I had no idea what I was getting into. So then the guy come outside. That was a white girl. This guy, he was a light-skinned black guy. He come outside and he like I don't know. He acting funny because he like, oh, she a hoe already, because he mad at her because she got him out here to say that that's his baby or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm just smoking a cigarette on the curb. I have no idea or whatever. So like I we here. So the receptionist, she get to talking to me, and she like, yeah, are you here for the show? I said, what show? And she was like, Maury. I was like, no. What? Is Maury here? And she was like, yeah, it's here down the street. The guests stay here. The guests stay in this hotel. And I was like, so that's what that girl is talking about. She here and don't. I was like, hell no, I ain't here for no damn baby daddy test. Nah, I know who my kids is. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is crazy, right? So uh, I think this is Monday or this Monday something come around. Anyway, they're like, yeah, we can get you tickets, bro. I go to work the next day. I said, I gotta go to Maury. This shit about to be good. And then so my boss is like, well, you here for a long time. Go to Maury. And then that's when I found out Jerry Springer was filmed there too. I was like, nigga. But Jerry Springer wasn't being filmed at the time. Jerry Springer, Steve Wilkos, and Maury was all filmed in the same studio. And I was like, boy, God done sent me to the right place. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to have a field day. But anyway, Maury was the only TV show being filmed at the time. So I get the next day off. I go to Maury. The people in the hotel is on the show. Come to find out, or his girl, the dude's girl is there. He was mad at the side chick because they was still sleeping together. And when like I said, when she came out there and I was smoking a cigarette, and he thought she was trying to, get in my bed or whatever. And I wouldn't recommend nobody. But anyway, that hotel was cool. But anyway, so they on the show. Come to find, he the baby daddy. Okay, his girlfriend mad. And the girls, I knew you was a baby daddy. I know you. I seen one run off. Everybody else was the baby daddy. They already, like, it was only one run off. Because they keep you there for 8 hours. 8 hours. I was like, bro, this is crazy. Then you take a break. They give you sub sandwiches. You get sub sandwiches, chips, a drink. Like, it's chill. And you can leave, but you can come back. I was like, shit, this is good. This is live. Everything that they show on the show, they don't. It ain't nothing like this. It ain't nothing like live. Like live, be real life live. Like you see the whole story. They be cussing each other out. The security be having to break them up. All that type of stuff. But they don't show that on the show. It'd be like quit. Not live. So then, all right, bam, show happened. I get back to the hotel. Actually, after the show, I went and met up with my coworkers because I was like, man, that was an excellent experience. Mind you, the WWE Hall of Fame is there. They was like, we're gonna take you to the Hall of Fame sometime this week, so just chill out. I was like, this is awesome. And so I go back to the hotel and I'm sitting there. Let me tell you, I had to walk to the liquor store and I had to walk. It's a Dairy Queen over there. It's a liquor store over there. And it's a cemetery. Man, it's dead bodies in there from like the 1600s. I was like, damn. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm back at the hotel. This is my first time drinking scotch because they liquor store didn't have shit. They didn't have Crown Royal. They ain't had nothing. I was like, what kind of liquor store is this? But whatever. I just drank some scotch. It was what it was. I was like, these goddamn East Coast people don't know what Crown Royal is. They go get some damn, I don't know what kind of scotch it was. But anyway, I'm in the hotel lobby, just chopping up the receptionist. I didn't got cool with the receptionist at this time, cause now she know I ain't there with no babies. They ain't my baby. I don't know these people. I'm coming from work, okay? And she was like, "You got a long stay?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be here." You know what I'm saying? I got Jerry Springer cups. I got all type of memorabilia from the shows. I still got it. So anyway, we hear a commotion down the hallway, right? I'm like, oh, that's that dude from earlier. I could hear his voice. He had a distinct voice. And then I heard a girl. And then you just heard some rumbling. So the receptionist lady, she go down the hall. She run down. And let me tell you, when she was running, I was like, it was like Baywatch. But anyway, That's neither here nor there. But she ran down the hallway to stop them. Both of them women is taking off on this dude. They both whooping his ass. And then one of the girls punched the other girl, and I think she did it on purpose, because like I followed them too, because I was like, man, maybe I need to help him out. And then so they whooping his ass. We all right, we break it up. They mad because, well, he mad was one of the baby mamas. The girlfriend was mad because the baby was actually his. The other girl was mad because he been denying it, and then he was just in the mix. Well, once we got them all broken up or whatever, this fool, he like, man, let me get a cigarette, man. I'm like, bro, man, all right. Man, mind you, this was like in 2017. Bro, cigarettes was like $15 up there. I was like, man, I quit smoking. That trip, I quit smoking because I said, I'm not buying a pack of cigarettes for $15 when they was like $6 here in Oklahoma. I said, hell no, I don't smoke that bad. I don't need to smoke. So that trip right there made me quit smoking cigarettes. But I'm sitting out here smoking a cigarette, not knowing that cigarettes are $14 a pack. So I'm smoking a cigarette. He's smoking a cigarette. He like, man, let me get another one. I said, man, shit, you need one. You know what I'm saying? Then the baby mama come outside. She need one, and then so he sit is the girlfriend, him, the baby mama, me. They over here train smoking. They stressed out. I was like, God damn, that show must have been terrible. But yeah, but it was other people. It was other people who were also in the show. Like they had people. They had to separate people. They couldn't even have them people in the same hotel because the beef had started. And I was like, damn, this is crazy. But trust me, if you go to that hotel, you gonna see shit. Cause well, I don't know if they still have it because I don't even know if Maury's still going on. But for sure, that was my first, and I was like, man, I'm going to the Maury show, and I went. And the next time I went, I was trying to see. They had Steve Wilkos, and I was like, man, I ain't trying to see Steve throwing chairs and shit like this and see a bunch of pedophiles. But guess where they was? They was in that hotel. I didn't stay in that hotel the next time. I said nope. You know, these is a bunch of broke ass people trying to bum cigarettes. They fighting all the time. I was like, hell no, I ain't staying in that hotel no more. And I didn't. I never stayed in that hotel again. But my friend, she still worked there. She was from New York, and she was from Brooklyn. I used to like her accent because she used to be like, you know how Brooklyn people talk. But yeah, she was cool to the motherfucker. But for real. But shout out to this lady because she knows, and she got it, dude. But I just wanted to tell that story about how I went to Maury because it was live. It was live, and I'm telling y'all, if y'all ever get a chance to go to one of them shows, go to one. I wish I would have got to Jerry Springer. I promise you, Jerry Springer's my favorite show. But Maury, it, it was interesting to see. And she said that they was getting $500 and they split it. Bro, they only got like $100. Only like $100 to go to that show and a free flight. They got a flight, that hotel, and that hotel was only like $60 a day. They got a flight, that hotel, cause that hotel and breakfast they only serve you cereal. But my job paid for my food, so I just go get anything. Anyway, but if you go to the East Coast, you'll go get some Peruvian food, the best Peruvian food. Go get you some lomo saltado or something like that, and or get you some Jamaican food from the East Coast. Best Jamaican food you'll have outside of Jamaica. I promise you. Best Peruvian food you'll have outside of Peru. Okay. Anyway, and everyday people, man, thank y'all for joining the live. I just had to tell y'all that Maury story because she brought it up. So, but for real, I went to Maury. I seen a dude get his eye blacked, and then they sat down like nothing happened and smoked a cigarette. And then when I was out of cigarettes, and I went to go get some more, and they said $14. I said I was just giving away cigarettes like that. Hell no. Hell no. I ain't giving nobody else no goddamn cigarette. $14? What? Hell no. I said I'm finna quit smoking. $14? Like what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, everyday people, like, comment, and subscribe.